What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free trading game collection. In today's episode, nothing too crazy, but I am going to pop into CEX. But before I get there, I need to go around the charity shops. It's been a little while since I've done this. Now, unfortunately, the things I found are a little bit overpriced. First things I found were some Sims games. I have mentioned them before a long time ago. Don't sleep on them because some of them do trade in for a few quid. And if you have a huge bundle of these, people do buy them quite consistently on eBay. Unfortunately, these were very, very common ones and they were a little bit overpriced at around £2 each. In the same charity shop, they had some Wii consoles, which is not something that I see every day in my charity shops. Unfortunately, they wanted the earth. I genuinely couldn't believe how much they had priced these up at. So a Wii with all the wires but no controllers whatsoever, in terrible condition, 30 quid. I actually couldn't get over that. And then right next to it, or just on a shelf underneath, a Wii with two nunchucks, no Wii remote, and the wires, yeah, it was the same. It was about 30 quid. In a box underneath, they did have a balance board, just the Wii Fit board. That's it. Nothing comes with it. No game, nothing, no box. £15. So again, a little bit, well, a lot overpriced. I left those. The trip wasn't a total loss. I did manage to find some things for me personally, but nothing video game related, unfortunately. I haven't seen anything on Facebook lately, and by anything I mean I've seen the odd deal go up for like £300 for a Switch and 3 games that is worth around 150, 60 at best. Vinted has been decent, but not quite as good as it normally has. I have bought a game and I am waiting for that to turn up. It's only just been posted though, so it's going to be a little while. But Vinted and Facebook being a little bit dry, that's when I went to the charity shops, and unfortunately they were even worse. So I had two options. One was to go to Regenerate, which is a pawn shop near me. I went in there, had a little look around. They have decreased the amount of PS3 and Xbox 360 games that they have by a lot. I would say it's a good 60 to 70% reduction on the amount that they have. Whether that's just a stock issue or whether they're just reducing it full stop, I don't know. But it was a very disappointing visit for me. Now, they did have some consoles in the window that I wasn't tempted necessarily, but I was looking at them thinking, well, to be fair, that's not a bad deal. I would pick those up if I had the spare cash. So with everything up to now being a complete and utter bust, there was only one thing for it. I'm going to have to go into CEX, pick up the games I want, and they're going to have to buy them for me. This is obviously going to be a continuation to the last video that I put out on this channel, how I make profit from CEX. But in this video, in the series, I'm going to show you what games I'm going to add to the collection and how I managed to pay for them. I don't have anything too crazy to show you because, to be fair, there wasn't really an awful lot that I could make money off on this particular visit. Incidentally, just to touch on that last video that I put out, if you haven't seen it, don't worry too much. But if you have, the point I was trying to make in the video isn't that you should quit your 9 to 5 and go trawling through the shelves of CEX in order to find £5 credit here or there and make that your full-time job. My point was, if you're in there looking for video games or trading some stuff in anyway, you may as well keep an eye out for things that you don't see very often. And if you do see the odd game here or there, because you won't find millions of them, but you may find 3 or 4 in any one visit, give them a quick scan, see if they go for more on eBay. If they do, pick them up, sell them on, use the profit to pay for the purchase you've just made while in CEX. I'm not saying quit your 9 to 5 and go full-time as a CEX scalper, but it's just something to consider while you're there. With that being said, I have a few pickups, one of which is going to pay for the whole lot, the other is going to be more of an investment, and then the other 2 are going to go into the collection, one of which I've been looking to pick up for a while, and I don't even think I knew this version of this game existed. First one to talk about is going to be Young Justice Legacy. This, of course, was in that video that I put out, how to profit from CEX. Cost me £3, haven't taken the sticker off it yet, as you can see. I have played it. It's not a particularly good game in my opinion, but that's just because I'm not really a big fan of superheroes. This is going for triple this on eBay, which of course means I can sell it to make some profit, but I'm not going to. It's in good condition, it has the manual, and if it does go up to around 15 quid, I might consider selling it, but for the time being, it's going into the collection. In that last video, I did mention steelbooks, and of course, we're no stranger to a steelbook. I have a couple of them, but I've picked up another one. Of course, they're the same price as the standard version of any game in CEX, so when I saw the Fallout 4 steelbook for £1, I wasn't going to leave that there. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't come with the manual or anything, but the steelbook itself is in very good condition, so for £1, there was no way. Now, this is the Xbox One version. I have this on the PS4, so I could put it in the PS4 section and just pretend that it goes with the game, but I am going to put it in the 360 section on the shelf, and I'm going to keep it. It does sell for between 5 and 10 on eBay. Nice to know the money is safe, but I really like Fallout as a series. I enjoyed Fallout 4, so I'm going to be keeping that one. So far we've spent £4, which to be fair we can handle. We don't need to make the money back, but this next purchase is going up for sale because it's not something I see that often, and to be quite frank, I don't want it in the collection. This was £6. It is Far Cry 3, but also Far Cry 4, the double pack on the PS3. Why people want these is up for debate. I would imagine people want them because they take up less space on a shelf. If you're a reseller or you sell things a lot on eBay, you know that when you look up completed listings to more or less ignore bids. At least I do anyway. People get things cheaper on bid than they do buy it now, 9 times out of 10. So when I looked this up, there were a few on bid that sold for around £6 or £7, which means of course this isn't worth picking up. However, if you look at all of the buy it now sold listings, they're all going for £12, £15, £16 plus. Quite consistently as well, I might add. So if I put this on eBay for around 12 to 15, I can double up quite comfortably. I'm going to assume I can make around £12 off this after fees. Of course, I do need to take the original amount out of that £12, so I can make £6 profit on this game. It has the manual and the disc is in very good condition, which is going to help it sell quicker. I have Far Cry 3 on the Xbox 360 and I have Far Cry 4 on the PS4, so I have absolutely no need for this whatsoever. So the fact that I can sell it for around a £6 profit is all well and good with me. That means that the £4 we've spent so far is now free money, and we have £2 to go back into the fund. I think I mentioned this game in the last episode and I said I wanted to pick it up. I didn't know this version of it existed though. This is Grid, the limited black edition. I've got no idea what that means and what comes with it, but I really like this cover. It is so much nicer than the standard cover. So apparently with the black edition you get some new sponsors, you get a new car or two. Nothing too crazy, but to be fair, the artwork on this one is just that little bit better. It is £5 and this version is more than the standard version. However, with that £2 left over in profit from Far Cry, this costs £3. But of course I did have £4 in credit, so this was free, and now we have £1 get in left on a voucher. It's in really good condition. It has the manual. It does have the DLC code with it as well, but I would imagine that that is either expired or has been used. But I'm happy to put that into the collection. Now all I need is the second one. They did have the second one there, incidentally, and I was tempted to pick it up, but the spine of it was a mess. I don't know what had happened, but someone got hungry, I think, and just started to chew it. I'm always on the wrong side of dead technology. My family chose Betamax over VHS. I chose the Saturn over the PlayStation, and yes, you've guessed it, I went with HD DVD over Blu-ray. With that being said, my PlayStation 1 collection annoys me. There are only a handful of games on the entire system that I have a massive nostalgia for. Those games are Gran Turismo, Tony Hawk, and a couple of others. So to have all of these games sat there doing nothing that I probably never intend on playing seems a little bit silly. So I'm going to put the ones that I really want to keep to one side. Like I said, I think there are only maybe 2 or 3. I'm going to go through these very quickly. These are the 3 games I'm going to keep. Theme Park, because it's Theme Park. Premier Manager 98, because I want to keep most of, if not all of the manager games that exist on every platform. And that's why I'm also keeping Premier Manager 99. And here are the remainder of the PlayStation 1 games. Now the 2 stacks on the left, they're roughly £2 each. They're nothing special at all. Some of them are in really good condition and I could maybe get £3 or £4, but roughly £2 each. And believe it or not, that means 40 quid for those 2 stacks, which is unreal. I may do a boot sale at some point. I do have a fair few things I can sell and maybe I'll record parts of it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to do something. And then this stack over here, I've gone through them and I've been really harsh and I have looked every single one of them up. Jonah Lomu Rugby at the top there is worth between 8 and 10, and then a little bit down is Brian Lara Cricket and Jonah Lomu Rugby again. Now the discs are not in great condition, but I still think I can get between 8 and 10 for that because it goes for around 13 to 15 anyway. And then the rest of them are roughly £5 to £8 games here or there. So believe it or not, I reckon I can get about 50 quid for that stack. Now I'm not saying I'm going to sell them all to the same person because I don't think someone's going to walk up and give me 90 quid for all of this, but if I sell them individually and I take my time, I'm quite confident I can get at least 80 if not 90. I am kind of happy to take offers on them as well, so I'm going to put my minimum expected amount into the total cash profit in this series because none of those PlayStation games at this point owe us anything. I know other people when doing this type of thing will wait for them to sell before giving a figure or just take them to a buyer or CEX or something that nature and get the cash so they know exactly how much they've made. I don't do that, and I can't really do that. I've got a terrible memory and I've got no organization skills whatsoever. So me sitting there writing these things down isn't really going to help, and I'm going to forget that they're there. I'm not going to know what I've added when. So I give an estimated figure. Now, to be fair, up until this point, and I am very surprised by this, I've never sold anything under the amount that I've told you. When I first started this series all those months, or maybe even over a year ago at this point, I thought I was going to be altering the cash balance figure quite a lot, but it turns out I don't really need to. Everything has been more or less bang on, and I'm still going to stick by that. If things sell for less than I've said, then I will obviously adjust the figure going forward, but at this point I haven't really needed to. In fact, some things have sold for more, but I haven't altered the figure because I want it to be a worst case scenario, so that we're guaranteed to always be in profit. So unfortunately not a massive episode, only a very quick update, but still some games to go into the collection. A game from CEX that is going to pay for nearly everything, and whatever was left over is paid for by the voucher. I do have another few videos in this series lined up, one of which is going to go through some of the games that we need to knock off the list. I want an actual list on the wall, almost like a poster, that we can cross off as and when I pick these games up. Now, they're not going to be just your standard £3 or £4 games. These are going to be the most expensive games that I intend to add to the collection at some point. Whether that will be the next episode or not, I'm not quite sure. We are going to go to a retro games store at some point in the future as well. I have that lined up. If you want to check out another video from me, you can click here, and until the next time, goodbye.